So DC comes out with Year of the Villain and let everybody vote on it. Did anybody actually vote? Did you? Also, apparently dying is easy, but making people laugh is even harder. And how do you take something old and make it new? You just change people's names, apparently, according to Marvel. All that and more, right here on this late edition of my Holland Review. Let's roll that intro. Hey, what's going on, you wonderful weirdos out there? Thanks for swinging by, and thank you very much. Apparently, we just hit 200 subscribers, just over 200 subscribers. A lot of comments have been coming in. Hey, guys, thank you very much. I hope you've been enjoying the Ralphie the Drunk takes on different aspects of psychology, if you want to call it that, and also our haul. And as the year comes to a close, just thank you very much. It's been a very productive year. But without further ado, I'm Pocan Joey, and as always, you're pretty cool for swinging by. We're going to break down some. I got my comic books really late this week, so we're a little behind, but we're going to get through this. Also, if you want to see a more in-depth review of this, not only my opinions, but other people's opinions, you can check out Blaster Stash at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on YouTube. Where myself and various other people, maybe one, maybe two, maybe three, I don't know, it depends on who shows up. We're going to sit around, we're going to talk about these comic books that we've read this week, so we hope to see you there. So without further ado, let's jump right into DC. Interesting things happened in DC. First off, the very first thing is this Year of the Villain that happened. Did anybody actually vote for this? Comment down below. Apparently this was a people's choice for the Villain of the Year, and the Batman Who Laughs won. Seriously. The side story to it had to do with this whole Pink Flamingo character who doesn't talk a whole lot, apparently, because he's bitter and jaded. Figure that. The villain's bitter and jaded. Only he's bitter and jaded to the other villains. And he wants to blow them up, and it's up to Harley Quinn, Master Detective, to figure this one out. Of course she does, because of some arbitrary knick-knacky little thing with the stationaries. But whatever the case may be, the art was good in it. The story was okay. But I guess congratulations to the Batman Who Laughs. I guess that's how we're supposed to treat this. I'm not really sure. This is a hit or miss for me. I didn't really care. But all in all, I'm glad I did read it. Let's see here. Moving on. Oh, yeah. Here's the controversial one. Dark Knight Returns, The Golden Child. So a lot of people have been saying, the whole thing with the Trump stuff that's going on in here. They're like, oh, good old Frank Miller there is taking a stance against Trump. The truth is, if you've ever listen to Frank Miller talk. He doesn't like any politician. Like, he's just not a politician guy to begin with. So I don't really see it as like a nose to your face. However, did you see Little Miss Save the Environment herself, Person of the Year, right there? Yeah, she's in the comic book as well, looking all mean and angry and just absolutely horrible because they're horrible people. So, yeah. What did I think of this story? It's hard to follow. Like, there's a lot going on in here. Some of it makes sense. And they also do that thing I hate. I hate it when it happens in real life, and I more so hate it when it happens in comic books, when you make some dramatic statement and you feel that it needs to give it more emphasis by repeating yourself. Repeating yourself. Because repeating yourself. Ugh. That's just, I know back in the day people were taught public speaking that if you want to make an emphasis or emphasis on a particular thing that you're saying, to kind of repeat the tagline to it. But I think we've grown out of that, since the age of the internet. Yeah. See, it doesn't work anymore. All right. Moving on, Detective Comics number 1017. Yeah, this is kind of a weird one. Even as I look down at my notes, it's like it said, yeah. That's what it says. What are we trying to say in this? This was a weird one. This is a very deep story. There's no doubt about that. In this, Batman gets so caught up in his trying to stop crime and everything else that he tends to forget the responsibilities of Bruce Wayne. One of those responsibilities is an orphanage, and apparently a kid escaped from there and died. right? Like died. Like him and his son watched this kid die in the Batmobile because apparently this place is crooked. Like they're selling kids off. At the end, Bruce Wayne is the hero in this one, and I want to be clear on that one as he takes on his responsibilities and really cleans it up. Also, they named the new part of the orphanage after the kid that died. His name was, and I guess that should be important, the Michael Flores. Yeah, they touched on some things in here about kids being separated at the border, and they kind of played on those things, but they didn't get too deep with it. But I like this because it kind of reminds us that yes, superheroes have to do good stuff, but even people have responsibilities. And I'm a big preacher of that, especially if it's responsibilities you've taken on. So this kind of hits home there. I really liked that. And last but not least, well, it is of what I read. We'll put it that way. Batman, Curse of the White Knight. Again, we're playing off of a lot of the things from the past in this. Again, we're throwing Bane in there. We're finding out that maybe the Wayne family isn't exactly all squeaky clean. That's going to be kind of relevant. But righteousness overall, if I look at my notes, it says... in the end, know what's right versus what's wrong and what needed to be done. Different times, we can't sit there and throw our ethics of what we go by today off of what something was like 200 years ago because priorities and morals and even ethics were slightly different back then. So to sit there and pass judgment on that kind of stuff, fine. Have at it. But the truth is, you don't accomplish anything by complaining about the past or trying to change the past. It doesn't open up the future to anybody. You just have to recognize it because that's all they ever asked for, right? So recognize it. Kind of a weird play there. But at the end of the day, when does the justice expire in something? In other words, if an injustice was done 200 years ago, when's the expiration of that? Like, but when's the responsibility to make that done in a linear time fashion? When should that end? Until somebody makes it right, but we can't make it right because we can't go back in time. Yeah, so we're kind of dealing with those kind of notions in here. It's kind of, I don't know, it's weird. But I'm liking it. I like the story aspect of it, and I'm having fun with it. So I'm gonna stick to that in it. I could really do without the whole Harley Quinn stuff in here. Plus, when you get something like that going on, yeah, I always like it when you make the little appearances. Apparently, this Azazel makes mincemeat of everybody in Arkham, so good on you. Let's see here. Moving on. Let's get to Marvel. So Marvel was kind of weird this week. Seems like I read a lot of this stuff before, and they're just changing names around. Case in point, right here, Strike Force. Right, I was not going to be picking up any more Strike Force. From somehow or another, it ended up in my poll. I didn't want to make an issue out of it. I'll spend the extra $5 on it. That's fine. The heroes in here start sharing their interactions with this particular space being, right? Or this race, I guess I should say. Come to find out, that's all false. Every bit of it is false. And it's because the kid that's unconscious in here, who's one of these people, apparently is putting off some sort of energy that Spectrum can't even recognize. And that's kind of her deal, right? So that kind of happened in here, and that was interesting. It was an interesting take. And then we got another long, exaggerated thing about Spider-Woman being a mom again. Like, can she be in a comic book and just not hear about her stripe as being a single mother? Isn't that really a choice for her? Can she not find some help? Like, I don't know. And honestly, which one's more important? Fighting crime all the time or taking care of your child? Pick one. Like, it's that hard. Anyway. Fantastic Four number 17. This was okay. In a perfect society, what can you ultimately regret? There was an ancient Greek philosopher, and you have to forgive me, I forgot which one said it, but it was a classic saying. It says utopias definitely breed tyranny, meaning if everything's perfect, then people will find ways to control the perfect. and take credit for that. And that kind of happened in this society. People that were made to be superheroes but turned out to be ugly in some way, shape, or form got put in the low, right? In downtown Ghettosville, while everybody else flourished and did better. So the thing is down there with the low people, that's what we're calling it for right now. They want to come up and revolt. Reed Richards and everybody find out the truth that this entire thing happened, that actually the Overwatch guy is actually responsible for creating the storm that changed the entire Fantastic Four. And then he wanted to manipulate everybody by calling the Fantastic Four bad guys. So he wants to continue his research study, whatever his motives are. We didn't really get that. To change the populace into superheroes as well, or at least as best he could. Yeah. Utopias, boy. Them tyrants. Right there. I really liked that. I recommend reading this. I found it to be very entertaining. Something else that I kind of liked was his Ghost Rider. Danny's not a Ghost Rider in this particular issue, right? But just like anything else, right when you think you don't want something anymore, you generally gravitate your way back to wanting it again. And in this, in order to fight Johnny Blaze, he's going to have to become, you guessed it, the Ghost Rider again. Yep, go figure that one out. It was pretty predictable. And also we got a bunch of the "I told you so" from the ex-wife speech going on in here, which I guess is every ex-wife's like fantasy. I don't know. But Johnny Blaze is definitely changing his whole persona in here. He's not the good guy in this story. He's got to do the good thing. And also, while he's gone, why the Chief's away, the cats will play, right? A bunch of people in hell are kind of taking over and switching things up and just released a bunch of more demons into our plane of existence, if you will. So what does that turn into? I think we got a lot of exciting stuff happening in Ghost Rider. So much so, I think maybe you might want to jump on board if you haven't already. Definitely get caught up on it. It's definitely turning into quite a good arc. Next, Immortal Hulk. Well, yeah. First off, I get the whole gears thing that they've been kind of playing off of. That was a thing back in the first 2099 series. Everybody had mechanical gearing all over them. So they've been doing these covers with the gears and everything. Pretty slick indeed. Our Minotaur guy is manipulating markets in this, and we kind of get his whole strategy. Also, all the protesters that are out there that are wearing the Hulk mask, come to find out, the Minotaur's Roxy company is making them. So there's some subtle reality into that, I often say. A good example would be a lot of the riots that generally happen where people feel that they're downpressed, downtrodden, yada, 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 and they riot and start burning buildings and start crushing buildings. Well, generally, they'll crush and start destroying the buildings that actually fund the things that they believe in. So kind of get a little back twist on that in here. That was great. Also, in order to beat the Hulk, you need a Hulk, right? So Minotaur is going to go get himself a Hulk. Yes, there it is. Yeah, this is a character from way back. I can't think of his name off the top of my head. Again, I've been running a little late. I apologize for that. But definitely, it's a character we haven't seen in a very long time. I will do better. By 10 o'clock, 10 p.m. Yeah, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on YouTube on Blaster Stash It. I'll have that name by then, I promise you. Let's see here. Morbius. Morbius is turning out to be a great read. Yeah, it's a lot of insight. A lot of insight going on in this thing. Poor me, the monster with thirst. He figures out, he understands in this one that he kind of rushed science and didn't follow the correct procedures and actually made himself worse. In that case, Elizabeth is showing up to drop that body. And it didn't work out in this one, of course. But we also get a cameo from our favorite web crawler himself at the back page there. And that's always been something with Morbius and Spider-Man kind of interacting with each other. So it's good to see them interacting again. But again, like I said in the beginning, this is kind of a story we already know to some degree. We're just changing it up with maybe one or two new characters, and we're just slightly tweaking the plot a little bit. So, I don't know. I like the story. We'll continue following it, but if it starts looking too much like the old Amazing Spider-Man story, I'm probably going to dump out of it. Punisher. So we find out that the guy that's been kind of killing everybody in the name of Punisher, because that's everybody's assumption anyway, that it was the Punisher, is actually a Russian operative from the Afghanistan wars. Those are the ones in the 80s. Yeah, those. Apparently, this man is very skilled with an AK-47, which shooting an AK-47 is hard. It's not as it's not just spray and pray if you want to use it correctly. So we find out that was kind of mentioned in here, and I was kind of impressed with that. Actually, I was like, oh wow, somebody's writing this. They kind of understand it. Um, so all in all, Punisher and this new guy, I can't remember his name. We'll call him Nikolai Rushinov. Okay. Him and Punisher apparently are going to be teaming up in this, and we kind of get that whole soldier aspect going on at the street criminals going after the Russian mob here. Super excited about this. This is a good read. Funny banter, soldiering 101 going on in here. And just gritty, like just dropping bodies left and right. It's just a good read. Next, Spiderverse. Hey, congratulations. We're doing the Spiderverse again. And it's the same story. Again. Cool thing is we bring out this mech spider. Look, I don't even want to try to pronounce that right there. SP//DR. Like, we get it. It's a futuristic deal. In this one, the little girl that actually works the robot and everything, we get a little insight about how the mechanics work between um, her operating the robot and her version of Uncle Ben. That's kind of the guy at the computer scenario, right? We get a cool twist on the whole Soldier X thing and Sinister. And they kind of mix the words around in there because, it's an alternate universe to kind of make it all sound weird, superficial. Okay, that was really cool. And also, I love the Craven in this. Yes, there's a updated version of Craven in this, who's the bad guy, and that was really interesting. And I don't know how this happened, but apparently, I need to have a talk with my comic book shop. All right. So definitely check that out. Moving on, talking about some more good stuff. Something is killing the kids. In this issue, the last issue was kind of the sleepy issue, right? And this one is more of the get the equipment, get the plan together, and let's go do this type of thing. And we find out that the monster is actually bigger than it was supposed to be. That was pretty cool. And then, of course, we find the den of the monster as well. That was cool, but even more, we kind of get a perspective about how big this thing is. And our nosy waiter, who shouldn't even be in the story, but whatever, he has a problem with the girl because his sister is missing and she thinks our warrior girl has something to do with it. Yeah, that happened in here. So, of course, he's got to be the antagonist that steps in the way and kind of fouls everything up. So we kind of see that in here as well. Moving on. Last that I read this week. Dying is easy. This is a weird story. I'm not sure how to take this yet. Not a whole lot of action, not a whole lot of superhero stuff going on here. Just a person's interaction with their life as a disgraced cop, and he tries to be a stand-up comedian, but he's not very good. As a matter of fact, you watch his little stand-up routine in it, he was funnier off stage talking to other people than he was on stage. Go figure that one out. Apparently, stealing of jokes is very serious with comedians to the point where he curb stomped somebody out in the parking lot for stealing his friend's jokes. He's down on his luck type of mentality, the burnt cop syndrome, if you will. But we also find out that there's a murder. So this looks like it's going to be taken off as some sort of suspense type of thing. And there's a tragic backstory to this as well. So we'll be following some more of that. I'm going to pick up a couple more issues. I kind of like these off weird type comic books. I enjoy that. And the narration isn't too bad in this. The dialogue can get a little choppy at some points because you don't know if the guy's trying to be funny or serious. But that's always the conviction to reading, right? That's the whippity-woppity. So the comic books that were picked up today, they were finally delivered. I have not had a chance to read these, but I will review these tonight on Blaster Stash at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on YouTube. Hey, if you're tired of me saying that, give me a thumbs up. I picked up Reaver. I've been enjoying Reaver. I don't see this story slowing down, so that's good stuff. Undiscovered Country. This has caught my fascination. This is number 2. The big reveal issue where Spider-Man 18 reveals his identity to somebody. I haven't read it yet, but what does the reader care? You already know. Yeah, it's not the first time he's done it. Comic book lore. Something I haven't picked up in a while. The Goon. Goon number 7A. The Lindbergh baby story. I'm kind of interested in that. I like Goon. And then last but not least, this Red Mother. And of course, I had to go with the creepiest cover I can possibly find on that. Because, yeah. So, yeah, we're going to be giving these a read here in the next 10 minutes and try to get them done before 10 o'clock tonight. Because, you know, that Blaster Stash It show is going to be coming on. See you there. Other than that, I have had a busy week, so it's going to be good to sit down. Congratulations to the United States Navy for winning the Army-Navy game. You definitely deserve it. You literally crushed the Army. I think it was like 37-7. Like, I was like, God, here we go again. It was so bad. Even at that little parody thing that I did. Oh, God, he still did it to me. Anyway, that happens. And, of course, we got Christmas coming up and a new year. So, with that said, I'm thinking about launching a appreciation giveaway come the new year. Honestly, we didn't expect this channel to get 200 subscribers. Like, we know we're not the best, but we have fun with it anyway. So, as an appreciation, we're going to be kicking something off at the beginning of the new year. I don't know, a contest or just an outright giveaway. I don't know. We'll figure something out and we'll make it worth your while. We'll dig into the boxes and see what we got out there. If you have any ideas, please comment down below. I like giving stuff away. It makes me feel better and you get something cool at the end. Also, don't forget my People's Auction House auction on comics and vintage games. That's going on right now. That ends on December the 17th, but fret not. We'll probably be launching another one of those here soon enough. I came into an estate sale and it's got a bunch of pops and stuff and comic books in it, and it's mostly stuff I already own. So I'll probably be rolling that over into the auction. Pay the price that you want to pay on our safe, secured auction site. I promise you. There's always something in there that somebody wants. I promise you that. You can check that link for that auction in the description down below. It will be there. You can just click right on it. Fill out your information. Again, pay what you want to pay. Really, we're just cleaning out boxes. I don't have anything else, guys, so I'll see you tonight, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Plaster Stash It Show, where you get to hear my sultry voice live. Man, you are so welcome. Talk to you later. Bye.